Yeah, got your schedule down.
Get track of them.
And I know that she always goes to
There's one thing and then this other
that
thing
class,
and then
because
another
it's
thing
at
and then here's this thing
5:30,
that
it's a
doesn't make any
5:30
sense
class or
whatsoever, but then there's this
5
other thing.
5:15, 5:30. Yeah, there's multiple ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It'll work. It'll figure itself out.
All right, calling to order the April 21st, 2026 meeting of the Long Lake City Council. Good evening, everyone. It's 6:31 p.m. All council members are present this evening with the exception of Councilmember Newcomer, who is absent with prior notice. So item 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 3, mayor comments, Long Lake News, meeting review and updates. First of all, there was no work session this evening for the council. This is our first meeting of the evening. Just to recap, a couple of great events that occurred over the past weekend. On Saturday was Spring Cleanup Day and hosted by Orono, and they're nice enough to extend that offer to Long Lake and Spring Park and Minnetonka Beach. So we appreciate that. I saw a lot of folks there bringing their recyclables and junk and all sorts of other things there. So good to see a great community turnout for that, and thanks to staff for publicizing that as you did. And then on Sunday, Shoreline Fire Department's first ever pancake breakfast, at least as a Shoreline Fire Department at Station 1, and great turnout for that as well. Perfect weather. Firefighters did a really good job putting it on, as they always do, and great to see a turnout for that, and all those that helped put that together. And I know a lot of council members were there as well, so we appreciate Shoreline Fire's pancake breakfast and French toast, which it's starting to be a crowd favorite as I talk to people. The cinnamon French toast seems to be the big hit. All right, so, and then coming up in the future here is Thursday, just 2 days from now. Reminder, we're Long Lake and Orono are co-hosting a Braver Angels event at the Orono Activity Center at 6:30 p.m. And Braver Angels is a national organization that's focused on kind of bringing people together just to not change their opinions on maybe political or contentious issues, but just build up a skill set for maybe how better to handle conflict with those that you maybe have differing viewpoints with and that sort of thing. And a really good speaker who's a doctor from the University of Minnesota will be speaking, and one of Braver Angels co-founders. And then, community members are welcome to attend that. It's free, and you should register, but it's not required. I know Jeanette's been doing a great job sending out Facebook posts about that and other notifications, as has Orono. So that's on Thursday. And then next Wednesday, the 29th, and I don't know if I mentioned this to council, but the League of Women Voters is hosting their first ever North Lake Minnetonka area mayors sort of symposium, or kind of a Q&A thing where mayors of about 8 cities, Orono, Long Lake, Wayzata, Minnetonka, Plymouth, I believe, and a couple others, are going to meet at it's in Plymouth, and at 6:30, and I know Jeanette's put out information about that as well. But just kind of a good time to come and I guess hear from mayors what's going on in their city and ask some questions and things like that. So they did one for the South Lake Minnetonka area mayors about a year ago, and this one is geared more towards cities on the north side of Lake Minnetonka. So that'll be on next Wednesday evening. Feel free to attend that. Other than that, that's it for city updates. So with that, we'll move on to item 4, which is to approve this evening's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5, open correspondence. Open correspondence is an item on the agenda during which the public may address the City Council. No formal action is taken by the City Council, and comments shall be limited to 5 minutes or less. And open correspondence comments may also be emailed to City staff by noon on the date of the meeting. Anyone wish to approach this evening? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Roger Adams, 1130 Underhill Circle, Long Lake. Tonight I just have one thing I want to maybe call it a reminder for you people or for the council. Believe me, in the future I'll have other things to come talk to you about. Looking forward to it. But a few years ago, the council approved a plan to build a entertainment stage at Nelson Park in Long Lake for our community events and so on. And for whatever reason, that project never moved forward. But there is growing interest among several organizations in the community to do something like that, perhaps not in the location that it was originally envisioned. There's concerns about the townhomes and the neighbor to the south and so on. And it might be better located behind Lakeside Liquor on the DNR land administered by the city of Long Lake, facing the lake. So that's kind of what the thinking is now, but I'm hoping we can put together a proposal and funding, primarily from the community. A couple of years ago, the Orono Lions partnered with the city of Orono and a couple of private donations to build a very nice pavilion at Orono Golf Course for half to 2/3 of what Orono's bids were. So we think we could do it. It'd be nice if the city participated, but I think there's enough organizations that we can get the funding to do something like that. And I think it's something the city needs. And it wouldn't just be for Buckhorn Days. It would, you never know, it might have exercise classes down there. But it's an amenity that most small towns have, and we don't. So just something to think about. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. All right. Anybody else? Okay, and any submitted
Nothing, thank you.
correspondence? Okay. All right, item 6, consent agenda. Items A through E on the consent agenda this evening, including a special event permit for the temporary outdoor patio at Buck's Pub. Thanks to staff for your work on that one. And then E, adopt a resolution approving a special event permit for the Cinco de Mayo block party at Shivers on May 2nd. And then approve a noise variance permit authorizing use of sound amplification equipment at that event. So that looks like a great event as well, and I think a first time for that, right? 'Cause I don't think Shivers was open on Cinco de Mayo last year. Quite open yet. Any questions for staff? Any items on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Terrific. Okay, item 7, regular business. Start with 7A, presentation of Community Service Award to Roger Adams, Planning Commission member from 2013 to 2025. Is this all me, or were you gonna say anything, Jeanette or Amanda?
I certainly could start.
I can certainly do it.
Former Planning Commissioner Roger Adams, in addition to being such a long-term, wildly active, volunteer with the Orono Lions, we really were blessed to have you as a longtime 12-year volunteer on our Planning Commission, most of which during which you led the commission as chair and really helped guide a lot of decision-making and conversations over the years, some of which were not always easy. You provided, certainly leadership and a sounding board often. I know that I have enjoyed working with you these many, many years. Not just, of course, with Planning Commission matters, but, with the Snowball Open permitting and all sorts of other things we've worked with together. I actually apologize because this award really is overdue. I wish that we had made this happen a little earlier in the year. I know we were kind of in a state of transition and reeling a little bit. Know that it was in our thoughts, and we finally got our act together, but we had not forgotten about you. And I'm glad that we can finally rectify that tonight and take a moment to thank you and to honor you for your service. It is rare that we get to thank someone and recognize someone as a 12-year volunteer on any of our advisory commissions or boards. You know, when you're a volunteer, it's rare to see that kind of commitment and service and longevity. So thank you very much, Roger. We've been fortunate to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the rare that we have anybody serving on a planning commission or park commission or council for that long, and that's a big dedication on 2 nights, up to 2 nights a month, or sometimes once a month, or I guess it's been once a month lately. But I know you guys hadn't had a really big busy schedule at the end of last year. But I was on the planning commission with you, Roger, back for a short period of time. You outdid me by far, outlasted me by far, but I was back in 2017 and 2018. What I remember, one of my first meetings I remember with you, and you were the chair, of course, was that we had a complex situation. I don't remember what it was. It was probably, over in Councilmember Feldman's neighborhood or something, but it was, it could have been action, I think about it, and you had studied practical difficulties, and I think you spent the whole day reading about practical difficulties, and you came in here and you explained to the rest of us, what a practical difficulty was, and you were citing statutes and I think some case law and that kind of thing. I was like, wow, this guy knows his stuff, clearly spent a lot of time researching it, wanted to do things by the book as opposed to just sort of, making a decision on the whim and that kind of thing. And that was, I thought, really good representation for our city that you had, as a chair, you had researched the topic and that terminology that much. That's normally something you might hear from a city attorney, as opposed to the chair of the planning commission. So I respected that about you, and you really put a lot of thought into the work that you did during your many years on the planning commission. So thank you on behalf of the city of Long Lake very much for that. Did you want? Yeah, if you want to say anything, you're welcome to approach the mic. But if not, I'm going to give you a plaque.
You can see I prepared remarks. The first thing I'll say is I did not join the planning commission for recognition. And many people, most of us volunteers don't, in whatever form we do it. I did it because, and the short story is, I think that the people in the community what they deserve from their government is the willingness to look for ways to say yes. Too often the first answer is no, or a whole list of challenges that you're going to have to overcome to get to yes. But I think getting to yes is the important thing for people. People should be able to do what they want with their house, with their property. I served through a tumultuous time. We did certainly had some conflicts or complex situations. The thing I'm most proud of is all of the work that went into the town homes, the Charles Cudd homes, the Stacks, the Zvago over here, which, as a city of this size, I think our comp plan at the time asked for us to plan, not build, but plan for 110 additional housing units over the next 10 years. And we built 140 of them. That's almost unheard of for small cities. The issue I think we all face now going forward is we just used up all of the available open space. So anything that happens from this point on is going to be tear down redevelopment. And I'm really, really happy to see something happening at Elite Auto. That's all you're probably noticing the cars are starting to disappear.
We haven't been contacted by anyone yet.
I know. I'll just say that someone did purchase the property and it's going to convert to a more commercial operation, retail operation. And the deal is that the seller has 3 years to remove their inventory. So that's why you're not really hearing anything yet. But I will say they did consult with me, and I made sure that they understood everything that they would have to do in order to get done what they want to do. But what they intend to do is perfectly in line with the zoning for that business district. So I think ultimately we'll all be happy with that. But thank you again. Thank you for all serving with me. You've been great. You've been great sounding boards. We haven't always agreed on everything, but that's okay. That's the way life is. So thank you, and you're welcome for the time. The big reason when she contacted me and said, "Are you going to re-up again?" I had to look, and last January I was gone for a month. I was in Turkey, Egypt, and Jordan. This January I was in Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Wow.
October I'll be in Europe. December I'll be in Europe. Next March I'll be at Machu Picchu in Peru. So,
Fantastic.
isn't that the American dream? Work hard,
Right?
Play hard.
invest,
Yeah.
have enough money when you retire, travel, experience. Well, that's what we're doing. And so I realized very quickly that I may not be able to be here to chair the Planning Commission anymore, and frankly, it's time for some younger voices. So, thank you all for everything.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate that. I got a plaque and a card to give you. I'll walk over here. You?
Yeah, of course I am.
You mind coming up here to the,
Oh, sure.
grab a picture of us? Yeah, you guys want to stand up on the sides?
You sure are. And just grab a couple here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you, Roger, for your 2013 to 2025 planning commission member and chair for that. And also the card that they
Thank you so much. And we can win that back because you should. They needed someone.
You stepped up and did a hell of a job.
Yes.
Sure did.
Thank you, Roger.
It's been a good time.
Enjoy your travels, and don't forget to keep doing, you're going to keep doing the Christmas displays though, right?
I'm
Or,
not at the menu. Oh, I am, but for those who like animals, I told you that about this. The most incredible thing I saw on the trip was in Cambodia, Siem Reap, near Angkor Wat. Went to visit an organization called APOPO, Apopo. That's a Dutch name about this long. That's the acronym. Apopo trains giant African pouch rats to sniff out landmines and unexploded ordnance. Now, between the U.S. and the North Vietnamese fighting Pol Pot and Khmer Rouge and so on, it's estimated that between 6 and 9 million landmines were airdropped en masse over that part of Cambodia, where the Ho Chi Minh Trail was. And the worst part of it is, it's generally not the farmers, it's the kids. Right? Kids run everywhere. These rats are about the size of a cat. Their nose, they claim they can detect 1/trillionth of a gram of high explosive, even inside of a metal container. And they're light, so they don't set anything off. And they ignore everything else that's metal. So like metal detectors are crazy, you find everything. They can clear 400 square meters in a day. That will take a guy with metal detector over a week.
wow,
So
it's impressive.
I saw a lot of
Yeah, you don't see that in Lone Lake, thankfully.
Unbelievable. So Google it.
I'm Googling it now.
Zero rats.
Wow, that's impressive. That's a big rat, it sounds like.
Yeah, you'll have to stop in and continue to tell us your stories. 'cause
It is,
we'll
yes.
miss you if you don't.
Yeah.
I like your stories.
More stories, more pictures.
Yes.
Got a little case, if you want this case for your
Oh,
plaque,
okay.
grab that, if you got that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
If your
I will
accident,
say, Never, as a Vietnam War baby, never walked my wildest dreams that I think I would want to travel to Vietnam. There's more economic activity going on there today than any place I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's amazing.
Heard it's a great country to visit now, yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's just insane the amount of development that construction is going on. If I was young, go make a fortune there. Because it's a communist government, all you need to do is pay off the right people.
Okay, interesting. Well, when we all retire from the council, that'll be our first retirement trip, I guess, is to, you know. Well, thanks, Roger. Enjoy your retirement and your travels, and thanks again for your service on the Planning Commission. Okay, with that, we'll move on to item 7B, resolution approving the Minnesota Department of Transportation agreement for the Highway 12 access gate repairs. City Administrator Wecky.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So today, both 7B and 7C are related to our emergency access gate that we received back in 2011. This access gate is located between Highway 12 and Wayzata Boulevard, and it serves as an emergency gate for both the freeway and then any police activity. If you recall, we were notified about a year or so ago that this gate needed some major repairs. And at the time, we really started to decide as a city who should be responsible for that gate, because the agreement back in 2011 said that essentially it fell on the responsibility of Long Lake. But after talking with both MnDOT and Hennepin County and some of our neighboring cities, we did determine that that the cost of these repairs would be fairly distributed amongst all participants that use the gate. So what you have before you today in the resolution 7B is an agreement with MnDOT, the Minnesota Department of Transportation, basically acknowledging that they are willing to pay $7,318, which is 1/3 of the gate's cost towards the repairs, but that they will not be held responsible for any future repairs. Like I had mentioned, that's not any different than the current agreement we already have. So this is extremely beneficial to the city of Long Lake. So today I'm asking council to approve the resolution to enter into this agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation so that they can provide us for 1/3 of the cost of these repairs.
Amanda, did anybody else contribute?
They did. I will be mentioning in our next motion. Hennepin County has agreed to pay 1/3. MnDOT will be paying 1/3, and then Wayzata, Orono, and Long Lake will be divvying up the other third. And I believe a portion of it may be funded by the Highway 12 Coalition.
Was that a crime
Thank you.
prevention
Oh,
coalition?
right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
And so it's extremely, this is very good for the city of Long Lake, because as I mentioned, according to the agreement in 2011, this was the sole responsibility of Long Lake. And so to have shared funding will be extremely beneficial. And the gate has been paid. We had paid it in the winter so that we could be on the schedule for work to begin as soon as possible. I've been working closely with both Hennepin County and MnDOT to, as soon as everything is approved and signed, I believe the gate will be prepared in May. So that is my timeline.
So they need to, the county board needs to approve the county aspect, and then who approves it? The state, you know?
I've been working with their public works director over there at MnDOT.
MnDOT.
And so once he assures me it should go pretty quickly, and I have already submitted for the right-of-way permit. And we're just waiting for all the signatures, and then we will move forward. And once work is started and everything is approved, then I will be invoicing out all participating entities.
Great. All right, sounds good.
Who will have access to it? Like, I know that in the agreements it was Long Lake, but we'll have other.
Well, actually, right now, access is, and Charlie might be a better person to answer this. I believe it's the emergency radar.
Yeah,
So
that's
anybody that has that.
Opticom. When you turn the emergency lights, there's a separate little strobe light that activates it that most first responders around here have. And then the fire department uses a Knox box key if needed or something like that. And Yeah, it's between police and fire, they have access. I'm not sure about ambulance, but I think most ambulances have that
They could.
Okay.
preemption, it's called, yeah.
So that makes more sense, because Hennepin County's using it, their sheriffs have access to it, so does the state, and,
State Patrol and,
yeah.
yeah,
That's-
right.
Why
It's,
is that?
Is that what they refer to as EVP, the emergency vehicle preemption?
yeah, very good, preemption, yep, exactly. So it works out, that's what, like on stoplights, when you're sitting at a stoplight and the ambulance is coming and the light turns green for the ambulance, it's the same exact thing, just as for the gate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, so not real excited that they locked us into this again with, you know, it's the City Long Lake deal. You know, again, it's used for all these entities, but we're kind of backed against a wall here and that kind of thing. And I know we're doing better now with our capital funds. And so, you know, we put $100 a year away for the next 20 years. We should have it paid for again or whatever. But yeah, this is a unique deal with we're talking about rats for the second time tonight, or mice, because this was all due to mice, I guess, but not that big of things, thankfully. Yeah.
Is it typical? I
was a
mean,
rodent
because this is a county
infestation that
road going
damaged
to a
it.
state road. And is it typical to have the cities pay for that access? I'm just trying to figure out in 2011, how did this get structured?
Yeah, right.
Do we know how it got structured?
I don't,
It's so unique. I mean, yeah.
I don't
it's
know
a-
how the original agreement was created or why Long Lake was
Yeah.
responsible.
Is it, I mean, it's
Well,
really,
it's because our law enforcement is benefiting from it, right? So to serve our
well, it's
city.
the people on
I
there.
believe that originally it was because this area, the heavy rescue that would be called would be coming from
Yeah, our fire station,
down Shoreline. So
right.
that's right out there onto that, used to be the most deadly strip of the highway in the state.
Yeah. It was put in just, yeah, about that time, right?
I should also mention, I did make sure that the attorney, John Thames, has reviewed both agreements. He said himself, I mean, there were obviously things that he would have changed, but given that essentially the 2011 contract supersedes everything, that this is just more of a benefit for the city, it doesn't,
We're getting 7,000 more than.
Well, yeah, it's
Well-
sharing the cost with some of the parties rather than Long Lake residents shouldering the entire thing.
correct.
And that's
Yes.
the thing is, you know, those safety services are being provided by our payment to the Wayzata or, you know, Orono hopping on there, and then the county sheriffs, and then our fire department's being funded by Long Lake to rescue on that road. And not many Long Lake people ever use that road.
Yeah,
it's
so
it's
you're
a
not
very
rescuing.
bizarre situation.
It is. Yes, I had some very interesting conversations with some of the partners when we were trying to decide responsibility and who benefited, because I said, right now, Long Lake is probably benefiting the least,
Yeah.
because we no longer have a fire department, we don't have a police department, and all of our residents are, but
Yeah.
this I felt was
This feels like
was a good,
it's a fair outcome.
I felt,
from
yes,
that.
I feel very good about this, because 6 months ago when we started this project, it looked like we were gonna be on the hook for all of it, so.
Right.
So I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2026-22, approving entering into an agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation to provide for the repair and replacement of the Highway 12 access gate.
Second that?
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, item 7C, this is the resolution approving the cooperative funding agreement with Hennepin County for the Highway 12 access gate repairs.
Yes, so, very much like we were just speaking of, this is the agreement between City of Long Lake and Hennepin County. We were able to get this in, under this packet, which is beneficial for council so that they can understand both sides of it. So this is the agreement between Long Lake and Hennepin County for Hennepin County's portion, which is the $7,318. The contract has been reviewed by our attorney. It does stipulate that they will not be responsible for any maintenance in the future, but that they are going to pay the 1/3 for this current repair. So my resolution today is with Hennepin County.
And I should do a shout out too, just to thank Senator Ann Johnson Stewart, Representative Andrew Myers, and County Commissioner Heather Edelson for helping with this as well. They all kind of played a role in getting our partners to the table when it comes to funding. Any questions on this one? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2026-23 approving entering the cooperative funding agreement with the Hennepin County for the repair and replacement of Highway 12 access gate.
All right, I'll second that. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, thanks for your work on that, Amanda. Looking forward to having that gate put in. All right, so we are moving along here. Now it's time for, for 8 other business. Councilmember Feldman.
We had a fire relief meeting last night. I mean, it was like, I think 20 minutes. It was pretty short and nothing of, I mean, the pinch or the defined contribution or the defined benefit program came up again. So the board, I'm sure we'll hit that probably the next quarter, maybe in 6 months. Yeah, otherwise nothing.
All right, Councilmember Dybek.
I don't have anything.
Well, okay. I don't have anything to add either other than just question. I assume we're on track for the bonfire, the park board event. Or are we not at the point where we can start like publicizing that?
Not quite yet.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
It's okay. Planning, continuing to move forward in hopes of prepping an event permit, hopefully for the next agenda. So
Oh, perfect.
work is in progress.
All
Yep,
right.
it is looking like it could shape up to be one slightly larger fire at the beach, possible other pits.
So I've had comments about that, and they say if it's going to be called a bonfire, it should be a bonfire and not little fire pits. And I realize that there'd be cleanup involved after, but I think that would be kind of cool to have a.
We have a Sean-approved location for a bonfire and an ash tree or two that have come down in its honor.
Wow.
Oh, so this is.
And, we won't necessarily go sky high. We need to be respectful of the townhomes and a couple other things there. And, but we are going to aim for a bonfire and possibly some food trucks, and we're going to see what we can do down there. We are going to be encouraging everyone to bike, carpool. Parking will be an issue. So we're really going to be encouraging, sharing transportation, get your bike out, if you can, walk and enjoy a beautiful evening, We're also not intending to market this like blast it broadly, but rather focus on this as Long Lakes neighborhood bonfire at the beach, It's because in part due to the constraints of the parking, the available parking facilities and, the size of the park too. We want to be sensitive to that and sensitive to the neighborhood. And it really is, although it looks very much like a regional amenity, it is at its heart a neighborhood gem. It was meant to be that way. So that's kind of our focus is, I think the board is looking for events that are designed to help Long Lake celebrate its parks and its resources. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, we'll stay tuned for the next meeting. Sorry to kind of spill the beans on that.
Yeah.
All right, Councilmember Qualley.
Nothing for me.
All right, City Administrator.
I was just going to mention that our administrative assistant has started. She started last week. She's doing wonderful, and I encourage residents to stop in and say hi. She's a little nervous still as far as getting to know everyone and putting a name with a face, but she'll be a wonderful asset to the team. So we're very happy to have her.
Great.
She's already trying to take care of us. She actually texted me while we were starting this meeting to say she grabbed coffee creamer for the office. So she's already trying to take care of us, which is
That's great.
very sweet. She is jumping in with both feet and learning quickly. And, I think we're really pleased with how things are going so far and her, willingness to learn and just get right in there. So, yes.
But that is
Great, great, all right,
Also,
thanks.
do not be alarmed. New thing on the phone tree. If anybody's calling in for Public Works, they might be used to hearing a male voice answer the phone. We've re-recorded the phone tree. Instead of saying, for the Public Works Department, now it actually says for the Public Works Help Desk, because if Julie's at, those calls are actually gonna ring her phone, and if she's available to answer, she will. If she's not available to answer, those calls will actually still go to the Public Works voicemail, but she will be checking that. But now it is, there's a strong likelihood that someone will be available to answer during the day. So we're pretty excited about that. So
Fantastic.
might improve accessibility a little bit, and she was more than willing to give it a shot, so.
Good. Looking forward to those improvements there. It's pretty fancy to have a Public Works Help Desk. I don't know if every city can say they have that. Right. Used to IT Help Desk or something.
We were trying to be a little bougie, but having fun with it.
Yeah. All right, anything else, Jeanette?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, geez,
I know.
if we wreck her or not, but.
It's
all
a
right.
beautiful night.
It is, it really is. Looking forward to getting out again. So next meeting will be on, I guess, Cinco de Mayo, Tuesday, May 5th. Potentially a work session and city council meeting at 6:30. So if there's no objection, I'll adjourn the meeting by general consent. Hearing none, meeting's adjourned at 7:07 PM.
Wow, that was the quickest.
Is that a new record?
Yeah, we're still on
I
that.
thought yours got
Yeah,
pulled
we
in.
did ours, like our whole shoreline there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I spoke too long.
No, you were great.
No, you were just fine.